I'm back from Canada.
You went to Finland.
No, I didn't. Shut up. Okay, so, yes. Canada. I went there. Went to a conference. I also updated my computer. So, no more super jagged, stuttery frames, because now I have an SSD. It took me a million years to get the money together to buy my copy of Windows, though, so it's been a while since I've been recording. Between that and directing all my attention to the conference. Right. What on earth did we find out? Okay. So, recap. Our star is going to explode. We're trapped in a time loop, presumably until we fix it. We are searching for various things, really. We don't have any solid leads on what's making the time loop. But we are exploring the history of the Nomai. That's who they were. They had various stations and whatnot throughout the universe. They were the sort of precursor race who came before us. They were observing us when we were still swimming around in ponds. So from the moon, we know that they were interested in the quantum moon, which changes positions when you look away from it. There's a lot of quantum stuff going on here with the Nomai. So presumably we're going to have to figure out how to visit this. I'm not sure how to do it yet. There is an observatory on Timber Hearth, supposedly, but I have yet to find it. I don't think it's the same as the mine that we visited. We have visited the Ember Twin, one of the hourglass twins, and discovered that they're called the hourglass twins because we're moving. Sand is going back and forth between them. So the longer we take in a cycle, the more stuff on Ember Twin gets buried, and the more stuff on Ash Twin is exposed. Shifty suggested that I visit Giant's Deep if I want to explore Ember Twin properly. I may do that, but first I have something else to do. Oh, there were other reasons to visit Giant's Deep, but I can't remember what they were. On the Ember Twin, there was a one of those holographic display things that you plug a little key into, and then it shows you stuff. The one on Timber Hearth showed us a vision of the Nomai. I don't know what this one does because there wasn't any key. So what I'm thinking straight away is I'll take the one from Timber Hearth and plug it into the one on Ember Twin. That will... It's possible, depending on how this mechanism works, that it will just show me the exact same thing as it does on Ash Twin. It's possible that the vision is tied to what you see is tied to the particular stone you plug in rather than the location. So I guess we'll find out. All right, let's. What else did we find out? Okay, so the Ash Twin project. Physically sealed off by an immensely thick protective shell for some reason. Oop, no. Know my mind ore from this site on Timber Hearth to build the protective shell. Four-eyed semi-aquatic life forms, that would be us. Let's see. Experiment at the High Energy Lab were based on extraordinary findings from the White Hole Station. High Energy Lab can only be accessed by a path from the Sunless City. There's a path leading to the High Energy Lab from the Sunless City, so we can probably go the other way as well. Oh yeah, and we found a escape pod. One of 3 Nomai escape pods that crashed into our solar system. All 3 escape pods were launched from something called the Vessel, which was badly damaged. There's more to explore here. Ah, okay. So I arrived here, I think, late in the cycle. So a lot of the stuff was buried before I got to it. So it's good to know that the game marks that. Okay. Right. Nomai created a device to track the quantum moon's location. The Nomai hypothesized the quantum moon might be a form of macroscopic quantum mechanics. The quantum moon travels to a total of 5 locations, but people think there's actually a 6th location that nobody's figured out. Okay. Nomai and Ember Twin observed that a moon would disappear when no one was looking. Chert's research notes mention a quantum moon that no Hearthian's ever been able to land on. Okay. Oh yeah, and the Quantum Grove. It's... Okay, so we have 2 objects in this grove. There's one of these quantum stones, which moves when you're not looking, and the signpost that also moves. I have not yet been able to determine whether the signpost moves with the quantum rock or separate. And whenever it moves, this poem changes order. I suspect that it's possible that the Nomai observation facility is somewhere around here, but I haven't been able to find it, and I haven't been able to figure out what to do with that grove. Let's see. Yeah, Southern Observatory. Still haven't found that. Rybeck was headed to Brittle Hollow to investigate something the Nomai were doing at the South Pole. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Right, okay. Right. It's not on the South Pole of my home planet. I keep mixing up Brittle Hollow and Timber Hearth. Okay, so Brittle Hollow is where that observatory was that I was talking about. Okay. Also, there's Dark Bramble seed that has landed on Timber Hearth, not Brittle Hollow, Timber Hearth. And it's ends up in a much bigger space filled with fog and thorny vines. Yeah, and the signal duplicates if I send a probe through. So the Dark Bramble seed is a wormhole. And given that one of our astronauts disappeared in Brittle Hollow, I'm guessing that he went through a wormhole. Right. Okay. Now then, how do I want to do this? Make use of my time. Well, let's start by picking up that stone like I said. So we need to go to the Nomai Mines. So I'm going to mark this entry on my HUD. Going to suit up, because otherwise I will definitely forget, and like I did that time on the moon. Okay, now I need to remember how to fly again. Okay, right. As long as I'm feeling surprisingly competent right now. Okay. Alright. Ow. Okay, that was a little rough, but it worked. Ash Twin. Okay, projection stone. Okay, so this is what this shows us. Check to ensure there are no longer any physical entrances. Yeah, I'm fairly sure that I've already done this. Okay, but this tells us that we get different information depending on where it's plugged in. So it's specific to the console, not the device. However, since this has the emblem of the Ash Twin project on it, I think what we will learn when we plug this into a computer will be related to the Ash Twin project. Buckle up. Now if I unbuckle, yeah, I still have the stone. Buckle up. Okay. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, that's a landing. Uh-oh. Extra repair. Okay, my moment of confidence has passed. Okay. Well, I haven't been... Okay, that's working. Where the heck am I? Okay, I think I'm in a canyon, not the trench. There's somebody else's lander. I don't think I explored this before. I think... Nope, nope, nope. I thought there was another astronaut on here. Ventures. I don't see any access hatch here, though. Maybe... Top? Nope, apparently not. Okay. I'm pretty sure the thing I'm looking for was along the equatorial trench. That thing, I think. 50% fuel remaining. No, this is the, This is the escape pod. Apparently got here a little bit earlier. So. Okay. Equip translator. Oh. Quick translator. Right bumper. The heat from the star's sun is more bearable below the surface. Okay. When our escape pod punctures the planet's surface, it broke into what scan shows a cave system with much cooler air. I would recommend we seek a site down there to build a long-term shelter. Anona, but these passages are a maze. Anona, even with this danger, they are still our best chance for survival. We'll form teams and descend into the caves to look for a shelter site. We can mark our findings on the walls to avoid possibly becoming irreversibly lost. Be cautious, everyone. And be aware of the sand as you search. It appears to be rising gradually. Okay. Right. Maze, I have not got here quickly enough to do a maze, but I'll read this. Emergency escape hatch. Okay, so that door. Keep moving, friends. There's nothing of interest at the end of this passage but rocks. And while these rocks are interesting, they can wait until less urgent time. Do not follow this tunnel to its end. Coleus and I will examine the horror that lies at its terminus later, provided we live through this. Oh boy. Oh boy. We found an enormous cavern at the end of this passage that appears promising. I believe we can construct a long-term shelter here. The cavern Melloray found is a wise choice for shelter. Could one of you mark the directions for others to follow? This is the start of a path to the shelter. I've left directions to guide you there. Of note, we must hurry as the pathway there is filling with sand. Do not allow yourself to be buried by sand. Make sure no one is lost. Okay. Passage leads to the breathable air. Refill your air supply tank here. We cannot tell how far deep these tunnels may wind, but do not linger as the areas expose the heat of this alien sun. Okay. I could do with a top-up of air. Assuming it doesn't... Okay. There was a pretty notable landmark, I'm fairly certain. That! There we go. Alright, now land without exploding. Okay, unbuckle. Yes. Now, be careful of... Okay. Okay, well, this doesn't tell me that much, actually. I mean, I note that some of those heads are lit up, and some are not. Scout. Can I send a scout down there? Huh, I can. Okay, symbols. There's a bit of writing. So, I did discover something useful, but it wasn't exactly what I was hoping. Well, I guess might as well do a quick scout of the Ash Twin. Or maybe just watch it, watch everything explode. But yeah, we're very close to the sun now. Okay, so we've got two more of these collector arrays. Ow! Collector arrays. That's either a platform or a vent of some sort. Looks like rings of vents, yeah. Alright. Okay. Away we go. Okay, so a lot of that was retreading old ground or being lost. So, I'm going to do more stuff this episode. And I'm going to take Shifty's advice and go to Giant's Deep. There was a lead there as well, even if I don't remember what it was. Okay, where's my map? Map. Okay, Giant's Deep. Left stick. Close map. And away we go. Okay, Giant's Deep, Giant's Deep, Giant's Deep, Giant's Deep. Okay. We'll investigate that that wrecked ship as well. So I'm seeing lattice work. In fact, I'm seeing lattice work that rather resembles some of the structures we saw. There it is. On the Ember Twin. What are you? Not sure. Oh, hold on. Too close to the planet, too close to the planet, too close to the planet. And splash down. Okay, that's not what I'm... Okay. So that wasn't ocean surface, that was atmosphere. Okay. Now then. Ah, here we go. That will be Gabbro, I think. Okay, this is going to be interesting. That's a lot of trees. Any good spot? Beach. Beach, 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 beach. I made it. Okay. And I'm pretty sure I saw some of that weird matter. Okay. So I got onto the... Okay. All right. That away, huh? Ah, yep, there's those crystals. Cave in there. Okay. Interestingly, not all the crystals seem to be doing the weird stuff. Oh boy, cyclones. Probably don't want to get too close to them. Now then. I saw smoke from here, so... Ah, yes, here we go. Hello, Gabbro. Nice, it's you. Good to see you made it in one piece. First solo launch is a doozy, isn't it? So hey, don't freak out or anything, but lately I keep, like, dying repeatedly. I don't know, it's pretty weird. What about you? Have you died lately, or is it just me? No, it's me too. We're in a time loop. Okay, so Gabbro's conscious of this too. Nobody else is that I've encountered, but time has been behaving unusual lately. Yep, time loop makes sense. Cool. You're taking this pretty well. Right, I believe I have been ejected into space. Match velocity? No, 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 no. Ugh. Is this normal? Have you ever watched a cyclone for so long it started to hypnotize you? I'm telling you, they'll put you in a trance if you stare at them after too long. How's space treating you? Where's your ship? That's a good question. It's definitely on this planet somewhere. I mean, unless a cyclone came by and tossed it into space, I guess. That would be pretty nuts. I hope it's not lonely. Okay. I found something. I found your quantum poem. Oh, of course. Of course. Yeah, the one in the woods. I remember writing that. Pretty fun, right? It works out to a good 24 poems. When I'm done exploring, I want to make some more quantum art. Maybe some kind of creature sculpture that just, like, shows up and scares the daylights out of you. Okay, so it may not actually be important. Actually, never mind. Okay. So, he's not, I was expecting he would be brusque, but no, he's, just odd. What are you doing out here? Well, what are any of us doing here, really? Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm out here exploring our solar system, same as you. But I tell you what, outer space really gives you room to think. It's quiet and peaceful out here. We've been launched into space like twice since we've been talking. I mean, it's usually quiet and peaceful. Sometimes a cyclone comes by and lifts my little island paradise clean out of the water. Then, less peaceful. Where should I explore on Giant's Deep? Here's something you might like. At the start of every time loop, I keep seeing a bright flash in the sky. Something must be happening up there in orbit around the planet. What else, what else? Have you seen the Statue Island? That's what I've been calling it, seeing as it's an island where I found glowing Nomai statue. Get it? You mean like the one I encountered? I was on the beach on Statue Island where the whole glowy business happened. By the way, it's a nice beach for that kind of thing. I give it a solid 8 out of 10 on the Gabbro relaxation scale. If you feel like checking out Statue Island, it's the one with 2 islands connected by a natural rock arch. Well, mostly connected anyway, you'll see. What's up with this planet? I know, right? Oh, you meant, like, tell you more about it? I gotcha. Well, Giant's Deep is a massive and mostly water. No surprises there. There's a strong current of waste beneath the rock that prevents anything from sinking below it. Seriously, I tried everything I could think of to get past that current, and neither idea worked. So everything was 2. There's an island floating by. That's definitely Nomai. As for landmass, I've counted 4 islands, including this one. There's also the one with that Nomai statue I saw on the beach. You seen the cyclones? Yeah, they're hard to miss. They'll toss up everything in their path, islands included. Little tip, if you get picked up, try to land in water. Less likely to kill you. Okay. Alright, that's actually somewhat useful information. Excuse me, somewhat useful information. That's not what I wanted. What's the button for the Y? Okay, so Gabbro. So that passage goes that way. Okay. Right. Ghost matter, yeah. Alright, so that's there. So not all of these crystals are harmful. Right. I guess let's start by exploring Gabbro's island. Actually, here's one thing to investigate. Yeah, I can see my scout getting passed along. Right, cyclones. Okay. Campfire. So I can doze off. Ah, fish! Like, I see fish bones. So people here eat something other than marshmallows. You look like you're coming this way. Ow. Okay, you gonna hit the island or no? Here. Yeah. Well, I guess that lets me get up to the top of here without too much trouble. Okay. Nothing much up here. Ow! Okay. Right. How about make it? Okay. Right. Okay. So, Statue Island. Okay. Ship okay? Ship's fine. Aside from the fact that I appear to be caught on everything. Okay. Okay, there's an island. Is it the one I want? I'm not sure. Yes, I think it is. Hold on. This is a landing pad, isn't it? Yeah, this is pulling down. So this is a landing pad, so ships will stay where you put them. Okay, so these are just illumination. Let's try and get the things. Come on, come on, come on. No. Okay. Right bumper. Statue workshop. Okay. Okay, now we have gravity. Ow! Okay, that hurt quite a lot. No easy way in. Not from here, at least. Okay. This lets me climb. I wonder if I can use those crystals to latch on. Okay. Alright, now my skeleton. Something. They're going to test the memory statues tonight. Flock said it could be dangerous, so he can't come. But, what if we didn't use the door and snuck in the other way? Does anyone want to? Flock specifically told us not to do that. I really want to see the test, too. But there's a huge risk to take. We probably shouldn't. Maybe Flock will let us see the later test. Okay, memory statues, huh? Let's see. That has the cyclone icon. I wonder if it's possible to turn these cyclones off. Side. In the meantime, I'll just fall off stuff. Oh, hold on a second. There's one of those icons here. Standing on it doesn't seem to be doing anything. Oh, right, of course, gravity's heavy. We're on a big planet. Okay, here's another cyclone icon. That should be cyclone icon, but okay. So this is on the top. More lighting. This thing we've seen before, but we're not sure what it is, but clearly these patterns should be aligning in some way. And it was associated with the same sort of spiral structure. Here's some writing. Welcome to Giant Steep, friends. I'm excited for you to meet the statues. If I'm not in my dwelling, I'm likely in my workshop below, inside the island. Alright, so jetpack is broadly useless here. And except when we get launched into space. Right. Tree. There's a door down there. Hold on a second. This is over. There are rings over all of these. I wonder if I need one of the cyclones to toss me up through one of these rings. They don't look like they're active or anything, but they are kind of just... Okay, they're not hovering. They're attached to the wall. Unfortunately, none of the cyclones seem to be interested in coming to play right now. We're all over that one line. Maybe. Okay, I think it is. Let's go stand underneath this. Okay. Hope this does something. Ah, okay. Okay, so these... Ow. Okay. Well, alright, that's what they're for. They're anchor points. So that you don't die when the cyclone drops you down. Okay. Not teleportation rings. Disappointing. Alright. Right, that was pretty predictable. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. That, I think, will do it for now. I've been going for an hour. I'll probably cut this down to a decent length episode. So, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!